Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another post-cabinet press briefing. I am Leslie Ann Johnson, sitting in for the Prime Minister's Press Secretary, Miss Philomena Robertson. So good morning to each and every one of you tuned into the GIS channel. If you're on social media, the World Wide Web, or on radio, we say a special good morning to you. We have with us this morning the Honorable Oliver Joseph, Minister for Trade, Industry, Cooperatives, and CARICOM Affairs. And just to let you know some of the topics he will be touching on this morning, the Caribbean Association of Credit Union Supervisors Workshop, which is currently taking place in Grenada. He delivered the feature address yesterday. He will also give us an update on a recent quoted meeting in Guyana, as well as update us on the recent LIAT shareholders meeting, which was held in Antigua. And the Cabinet agreed to a visit by UN Women Executive Board later this month, so we'll also hear about that. So I turn you over now to the Honorable Minister Oliver Joseph. Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to members of the press. Let me start out by updating you on what is currently taking place in Grenada. We are the host to the Caribbean Association of Credit Union Supervisors. They're going to have the workshop put on by CARTAC and the 4th annual general meeting. Grenada is currently the chair, so Garfin is chairing this meeting. Cabinet pledged its full support to continue the work of Garfin as the regulator for non-bank financial institutions. The work of Garfin was commended by CARTAC as one of the outstanding performance in regulators in the Caribbean. Cabinet noted the growth in the credit union movement today, which represents the interest of 68,000 members, or you could say 68% of the population, and total assets of $900 million. That is the combined assets of all the credit unions in Grenada. They have witnessed an exponential growth in membership and savings over the last 5 years, and that is a very good sign for the economy. At the recently concluded meeting of COTED, which is the Council for Trade and Economic Development in Guyana, which I attended as Minister for Trade, 29th to 30th, the CARICOM Secretariat reported that Grenada, Jamaica, and Guyana were the 3 member states with the highest level of compliance with respect to implementing CARICOM decisions. As you know, the concern of what is called the implementation deficit has been discussed throughout the region, that CARICOM heads may take decisions and member states fail to implement. So it was very refreshing to hear that Grenada is in the top 3 of the member states that implements decision of CARICOM when it is taken. And this is because the government strongly believes in regional integration, because we believe our economic development, investment, and the open market in the Caribbean can assist us to grow and develop and provides opportunity for our small and medium enterprise to grow and share in this Caribbean community market. I also wish to update you and on the shareholders meeting of LIAT in Antigua on the 30th of April. And I'm pleased to announce that Grenada is now the 5th shareholder in the airline. So together with the governments of Barbados, Antigua, Dominica, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, Grenada at that meeting is now accepted as the 5th main shareholder in LIAT. What that means, it means that the government, cabinet has taken a decision to continue to support LIAT. When we look at the figures from the number of passengers that LIAT brings to Grenada, of course the multiplier effect is great. LIAT brings in thousands of visitors to Grenada every year. And therefore, from an economic and social point of view, Grenada had to support LIAT, because not supporting LIAT will mean the loss of revenue and economic development to our country. The meeting also discussed what they call a minimum revenue guarantee framework. The aim of the framework is to address revenue shortfall caused by flights that fail to achieve viable or profitable routes. Grenada pledged to continue supporting LIAT, and a number of models have been examined. I say the minimum revenue guarantee is one of them. So it's based on a load factor. So that if a flight from, say, Grenada to Trinidad or Grenada to Barbados is not selling that is showed in terms of their number of seats, what we're saying is that we will contribute to the seats. That's why it's called a load factor, to enable the flight to still operate between Grenada and the destination that is going to. And that is a model we think that is fair. If we want to keep the LIAT flying and they keep losing on the different route, then they would obviously, in the restructuring process, they will have to cut some routes. At the meeting, Grenada insisted that the LIAT should operate as a business and that the operation should be restructured. And so as a shareholder, we'll make our voice heard at the board meeting so that we can see value for money from LIAT. Cabinet also agreed to the visit by UN Women Executive Board to Grenada on May 21st, 2019. Grenada has been the recipient of financial and technical support from UN Women for many years to develop responses to gender-based violence. The Minister of Social Development, Honorable Delma Thomas, is playing a leading role in this respect. We have seen a dramatic increase in support because of her initiative and because of the number of programs that she has put in place in the ministry. We have seen the UN Common Board and other financial institutions to give support because they are satisfied with the work of the Ministry of Social Development. So the minister is on board and is fully engaged in this process. Cabinet also approved the attendance of Minister Winston Garvey and Mr. Sylvan McIntyre to attend the Understanding Risk Caribbean Conference in Barbados, May 27 to June 1st, 2019. As you know, we're entering the hurricane season, and understanding risk when you're dealing with disaster is extremely important. Minister Garvey is the minister in charge of NAGMA, and Mr. Sylvan McIntyre is the acting director, and therefore they will represent Grenada at this conference in Barbados from May 27th to June the 1st, 2019. I thank you.
All right, thank you, Honorable Minister Oliver Joseph. Any questions from the media? As usual, please state your name and your media house before you ask your questions.
Sherry and Noel, GIS. Minister, I want to ask a question as it pertains to LIAT. And you mentioned it now that Grenada is the fifth main shareholder. Recently, I would have read an article that states that Mr. Bronson from Virgin Atlantic has interests in LIAT. Now that Grenada is a shareholder, can you speak to us anything about that as to whether or not you're aware that he has interests now in LIAT? And if he does, what's the way forward and what does that mean for the airline?
No, well, I am not aware that Virgin has expressed any interest in LIAT. But as I said, they're looking at various models. So if Virgin expressed interest, that is something that LIAT board will consider, because government maintains that you have to restructure LIAT. So if you get a partner, I'm sure that the board will consider it favorable.
Okay. And my next question has to do with the issue of the credit unions. The meeting that is ongoing, there was a statement made that credit unions need to restructure. Restructure in what sense? Because in Grenada per se, we know that the credit unions, they're doing very well. There are issues with the different rules and regulations in terms of banks and so on, how they operate. But when they say credit unions need to restructure, could you just elaborate on that a bit more for us? Thanks.
I think what I mean by restructure, you have a lot of new technology now. So you have to introduce modern technology to keep up to date. because, as I mentioned, they have 68,000 members now. When I was on the board of director of the Public Service Credit Union, now Ariser, there were 3,500 members. In the last annual general meeting that I addressed, they had 13,000. So you see this exponential growth. They have to change, they have to restructure, and they have to keep up to date with modern technology in order to offer better services to their membership. So that is what is meant by they need to restructure.
Good morning. Rachel Bain, WPG10. My question is with regards to LIAT, right? Not supporting LIAT means a loss in revenue, but it is already a cash cow. So how does supporting it make that any different if drastic changes are not made in terms of operations?
This is exactly what Grenada said. We said we are a shareholder, we put in money into it. You have to restructure to make LIAT more efficient and to make LIAT profitable. So there are a number of things that need to be done going forward to ensure that we get value for money.
Can you tell us when, how soon we would see that?
The committee has already been established. Yes, at the meeting Antigua, the committee has been established that will look at the restructuring of LIAT, and very soon we should get a report. All the shareholders will get a report on the restructuring process.
Good morning, Karima Lois, new to the newspaper. In relation to the Grenada becoming a main shareholder to LIAT, is that already in effect?
That decision was taken at the last meeting, and we paid. So when we paid, we said, well, we need shares. You don't just ask us to give us, give you money. We get buying shares. So we are, because we paid, and we also shares, yes, we are a shareholder. That has already happened from the last meeting in Antigua.
And how much shares are we talking about here?
Well, the value of what we paid is around 1.3 million EC. Yeah.
What will Grenada be getting in return?
Well, Grenada will have a deeper say as a main shareholder. Previously, we were not only the 4 countries were the main shareholders, Antigua, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dominica. The others contributed, but not major resources. These were the 4 countries that were keeping LIAT going. So Grenada has now joined, and it is the hope that other countries will come aboard to assist LIAT in the restructuring, the way it operates. I said there are different models that have been discussed, and I mentioned just one, but there are other options. The minimum revenue guarantee is just one. But a whole study has been done to improve on LIAT efficiency.
Good morning, Minister. Callistra Faria, Business Files. I would like to find out what is the percentage stake. We've put $1.3, $1.5 million into LIAT. What does that give us? We are a 10% shareholder. Give me the breakdown, please.
But I don't have that information with me. I was not the one attending the meeting, and I don't have that information, but I can give that information to the press secretary, who can send it out in terms of what shares that represent.
Regarding you spoke about the framework that is going to deal with the unprofitable routes and the load factor. With all of this talk, you said you weren't aware of it, but there have been reports of Sir Richard showing an interest in LIAT. Given how persons at that level of business operate, do you feel we may have any concern about these unprofitable routes? He's not going to fund unprofitable routes.
No. I mean, that's a business model. If you operate in business, you will look at the routes that are unprofitable, obviously, because if you're losing money, right? If you're losing money, you wouldn't want to continue servicing a route that you're losing money on. So all this will be taken in consideration in the restructuring of LIAT. And what the model is looking at, if the government, right, I use the example of LIAT from Grenada to Trinidad or Grenada to Barbados. So if they're losing money on the route, and the government is prepared to contribute to ensure that they break even, that is an option also that is on the table. So if you want to continue, servicing that route. We want Leah to continue servicing. Then the government will have to contribute to ensure that Leah break even on the route and not lose money.
Have we looked at what kinds, I mean, we already would have some data on some of the unprofitable routes because they're creating a problem.
Right.
Do we have any idea what kind of costs we might be looking at to cover some of those routes? They're restructuring, yes, but do we have an advanced idea?
Right. Okay. So there is a committee locally the government set up, chaired by Mr. Laiden Ramdani, and they will make all that information available to Cabinet so that Cabinet can make the decision.
Okay, I have another question or two that doesn't have anything to do with Liat. The MNIB report, will that be published, made public? Are we going to be hearing anything new on what's going on with MNIB? I know there's been some developments.
When the investigation is completed, the public will know the outcome.
Okay. And a court last week ruled in the Oscar Bartholomew case that the government is liable in the civil court, and selected police officers, one officer was not held liable. Can you speak to that? Can you comment on that? The damages have not yet been awarded, but the government is going to be asked to pay compensation to the family.
We respect any court decision. So if the court award damages, government will consider all its options in a court matter because we fully respect the decision of the courts in Grenada.
And so, do you know whether the government cabinet has thought on the matter?
Oh,
and
no, cabinet,
whether
no.
or not was there any plan, depending on how, because that decision was coming, it could have gone either way. Had government discussed whether or not they would appeal? Or
No,
they
well,
would
the process
accept
is after the court rule, it goes to the Ministry of Legal Affairs, the Attorney General chambers. The Attorney General will then advise Cabinet. That has not yet come to Cabinet for a decision. As soon as it comes to Cabinet for a decision, it will be reported to the public.
Okay. Mr. Minister, you mentioned that there's a committee set up to deal with, the structural challenges and stuff of Liat. Can you tell us where are they looking to restructure in terms of the areas, if you have that information?
Well, to make it more profitable and business-like. You see, we as a government think that Liat is not fully operating in a business-like way because you continue to lose money. And every time they need money, they just go to governments and say, well, like the last meeting they announced they need $5 million US by the end of April, otherwise Liat will go down. Well, if you think, if you operate in business and you're losing money and think you can just go to government and ask them for money and they will give you money, then you probably wouldn't have no incentive to change the way you operate. So that's why we are insisting, and the other governments too, that you change your model. And there are a number of suggestions. I've read a document that call even for pilots to take cut in the wages, the staff, to reduce staff. There are a lot of elements that look. When we have the final document, final report, we'll give all the details to the press, but it is work that is in progress at the moment.
Minister, on a side note, you have started an outreach program where you're meeting various businesses and so to get a sense as to what are some of the issues and concerns. Can you update us on that, please?
Yeah, sure. Yes, the Ministry of Trade and Industry Cooperative, we have decided to go out to meet with the manufacturers and the producers of goods in Grenada because we have the National Export Strategy and we want to increase our export and also to increase domestic consumption. So part of that is the Buy Local campaign that we'll be going on with. So I personally, with a team, will go to the manufacturers to hear the concerns, what are the challenges, how the government can help. And I must say it's been very rewarding because they're so happy to see government reaching out to them and to hear the concerns. And they're very enthusiastic to expand the business and grow and contribute to the economy that we plan. We are going right on the island. When we finish St. George's, the next stop will be St. Andrews and then St. Patrick's. We don't want to leave with any small or medium-sized business at all in these two because we want to help them to grow and develop.
Can you share what are some of the concerns of the manufacturers at this time?
Right. So the biggest challenge for them is competing with imported goods from Trinidad and other and externally. Now, because we're into CARICOM, which is a free trade area, we are members of the WTO, so we cannot just ban products coming into the country. There are trade instruments that we can use to assist them. Now, if you imagine a company that we visited buying the raw material from Trinidad to produce in Grenada, there's no way they could compete in Trinidad market because they're buying the raw material, they're paying for it to bring it here as input into production. So we had some discussion on alternative sources or improving technology, making the business more efficient so they can increase on the profitability, and looking at new markets for them. We have undertaken to do that for them.
And finally, will there be a time span when you will collate all the information and then have one general meeting so that you all can come to a consensus as to the way forward?
Yes, that's a good question. The intention is to do it before the next budget. Right? So we're finishing all the visits, and we call all of them together and get a so if there are tax issues, fiscal issues that needs to be put into the budget, we could address that matter. So that is the intention of visiting all of them so that before the presentation of the next budget, and we usually go to Parliament early with the budget, early in November. So the plan is to, by September, to bring all of them together, get their views, and then approach the Ministry of Finance, and let's see what we could do to help them.
Okay, Mr. Minister, I have two more questions, right? The first one, are there any plans for border security with regards to Venezuela?
Yes, we have the Coast Guard that are patrolling our shores. We are monitoring closely the events because we have seen the increase of Venezuelans going to Trinidad. So we are monitoring our borders. We have not seen any significant signs of Venezuelans trying to enter our border, but we are monitoring it, and we are coming up with a plan. The security forces have a plan of how to deal with it in the event that that happens.
Will the restructuring affect St. Lucia as they blatantly indicated that they will not inject any money?
Well, I don't know what will be the outcome. Yes, St. Lucia Prime Minister said, Liat must operate a business and not put in any money until they take the decision. So he will wait for the outcome of the committee that I talk about, what recommendations they're coming with. That is his words. Now he'll study the recommendations and see whether or not St. Lucia will put money into it. If he's satisfied then that the model that is arrived at by the committee is one that could work, he will then put money. So you can't say what will happen yet. Until the outcome of the restructuring is done, then he will make a decision.
It is my understanding that there have some issues relating to, throughout CARICOM, relating to nationals presenting fake documents in an effort to get a job. Has Grenada had to turn away anyone because of fake certificates, school certificates?
Yes, that was discussed at the quoted meeting that I just came from. A number of fake certificates. So what the meeting took a decision on security features for these certificates, and Jamaica has been identified as the country that the most fake certificate came from. And so they gave a commitment, the Jamaica delegation, to introduce security features in it that will ensure that no one could fake the certificate. What this certificate we're talking about is the skills certificate. Because if you move with a skills certificate, you do not need to get a work permit, and you have a right to work. If you have, so you had, yes, you did, you have that case. In Grenada, I know there were 2 reported cases in Grenada. In some member states, it was higher of this fake skills certificate, and the meeting did address that and ensure that what the recommendation is that we should standardize the certificate with the security features in it so that you minimize or get rid, if you could, of people, producing fake certificate.
How recent was those cases in Grenada?
Last year, as recent as 2018.
Anybody else? Prime Minister, let me just ask a quick question. Going back to the quoted meeting in Guyana, you said that Grenada is in the top 3 in terms of compliance. Is there some way that this is measured?
Yeah.
And what does it say for Grenada in terms of sort of leading the process for regional integration?
Yeah, they're very clear, defined process. So the heads meet and they take a decision, for example, that 10 categories of skilled workers should be allowed to move throughout the region with the issuance of a skilled certificate. Well, they ask all member states to report, and some member states only have put in place 5 and not 10. So they have clear ways of measuring it when they take the decision, because it's very straightforward. You said you agree to, I just using the 10 categories as an example. To move, you must put it in your legislation. I'll give you an next example. Visa for Haitian nationals. The Carriacou heads of government at their last meeting said that visa requirement should be removed for Haitian nationals. You will recall Barbados was the first country to announce that they remove visa restriction for Haitian. So when you report in at the meeting, they will ask each member state, what have you done? And if they come with 5 or 3, so they know the amount that has complied with the decision of heads. That's how they measure it. Each member state must report on what they have done, whether it's through legal instrument or administratively, to give effect to the decisions of heads. And that's how Grenada, Jamaica, and Guyana are ranked in the top 3.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I take it that nobody else has any questions, so I would just like to say thank you very much to each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you for all of you listening, viewing on the GIS channel, on social media as well as radio. Thank you to Minister Oliver Joseph, the Minister for Trade, Industry, Cooperatives and CARICOM Affairs for all the information that you've given us this morning of the quoted meeting, the meeting that is taking place right here at the Association of Credit Unions Supervisors Workshop, and all the other issues that you have touched on this morning. We thank you so much. Thank you once again, members of the media, and we will see you again next week.
On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearls Strip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearls Strip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event.
We are just days away from concert royalty.
Driver! Don't stop at all.
As the Long Walk to Freedom Tour touches down in Grenada.
Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money and thing.
The anticipation is building for the return of a living icon, Buju Banton. Backed by his Shiloh Band. Also featuring reggae sensation Ghost with his band. And Sister Joyce from the UK. Your local stars gracing the stage on that night: Laura Lisa, Samantha Cole, Kevon Niles, aka Double Standard, and Kalia Benjamin, with an accompanied appearance by Tevin Phillip, aka Triple. Get your tickets now from all advertised outlets. Sunshine Promotions, in association with Digicel, present A Night of Love, Long Walk to Freedom Tour, Saturday, May 11th, Grenada National Stadium.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNV. Get updated. On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearl's Strip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearl's Strip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event.
My enemies' walls are bound to crumble unto the floor.
And good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Love, but time to...
Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And this is Hard Talk. It's 33 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock on the spine side of Grenada on a busy Tuesday morning. We've just had the post-cabinet press briefing. Yesterday we said we'd be having Senate this morning. Yeah, but the Senate is actually on Thursday. So Thursday we'll be having the Senate sitting. So we're going to be giving you more information about that, when it's starting, and etc., 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 etc. Thursdays are a real busy day for me. Extremely busy day. Yeah? Nice. Beautiful. So it is Hard Talk. We're live on 97.5 City Sound FM.
89.5 CRFM.
92.9 Sister Isle FM. Notice what we say 92.9. Not no 101 point wherever. 92.9 Sister Isle FM out there in Carriacou.
And 94.9 WeiVybz Radio in Brooklyn. Yeah, out there.
Yes, indeed. And we say a special good morning to all our online listeners wherever you are. We hope that you're having a beautiful day today. Everything is going your way. All right? Nice. Beautiful. So, Devon, how was the night, man?
Well, what should I say? Quiet, restful.
Yeah.
And so try to get as much information as possible when it comes to the whole weekend scenario and so. But
I think that's the topical issue right now. Yeah. All the radio program, all over, everybody talking about that particular issue. But you know something that I know for a fact? By Friday, everybody forget that.
Yeah. And gradually, people getting to understand more of what went on.
That's just the nature. By Friday. I think Douglas did come out. And say exactly what happened from his viewpoint, which may not be the right thing that happened, but it is understandable that it can happen. Yeah? So I think everybody has a clearer understanding in their mind.
As to what went on.
And we heard one of the representatives of the artists. They were on Junior's program yesterday. And they did say that there will be a show to make up, a free show to make up for the show that didn't take place.
Well,
so we look forward to that.
We look forward to that, and we expect that. We expect something coming from both the artists and its management and the promoters, But I think good sense should prevail, and it's a lesson to be learned by all. You know, and so.
So, postcard press briefing. The minister up this morning, the Honorable Oliver Joseph. I don't know if you got a chance to listen, Devon, to the minister this morning. He did speak a bit about Liat, and that the government of Grenada is now a shareholder in Liat.
Wow, that's good news.
Remember, the government of Grenada was the first government to put funds into Liat as per the agreement that took place at Carriacou. So the government of Grenada were the first ones to actually put funds into it. St. Lucia have said they're not putting anyhow. They're not going to put. But the government of Grenada was the first. And at a point in time was the only one that had put money in. So one of the things that they said in return is that the government of Grenada had to would want to become a shareholder. So they have become a shareholder now. One of the 5 major shareholders in Liat, the government of Grenada.
Finally.
No, but I think it's a good thing, and but I know it's a good thing. Especially, although the minister didn't acknowledge that, because he can't acknowledge any talk about Richard Branson coming in. That's the guy who owns Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Galactic, Virgin Tours, and all this kind of thing, Necker Island, and all these things. Multi-billionaire. The minister couldn't acknowledge something if he doesn't have it officially, because if he goes as a government minister here in Grenada, he may see it on the internet, he may hear it from unofficial sources, but unless he sees something official, he cannot go there and say that, look, Richard Branson is interested in it. But it would be a good thing if Richard Branson is interested in Liat. I think it would be a very good thing.
Would be an injection of much needed cash and a different style of management and everything like that. It will be a good. Whoever is interested and willing to do what is necessary to keep Liat on top, flying through the Caribbean, hey, it's welcome. Whether it's Richard, whether it's any other private entity and so, or governments, it is something that is needed. We cannot afford to let Liat go under. All right, it's too important for the region.
The minister was at pains to explain that when Cabinet looked at the numbers of visitors that Liat brings in on a monthly basis, and you're speaking thousands here, that Liat brings in on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, even a quarterly basis and a yearly basis, and the spending power of those individuals, the amount of business that it brings in and out of Grenada, people who produce something here in Grenada and need to get it to another island, people who suppose you have a competition taking place here and somebody needs to get something up urgently from Trinidad. I myself have had to do it for several people, go on the airport and go to Liat to get something that was sent up from Trinidad or sent from here or there. So Liat is a very important bridge for Grenada. And to not spend $1.3 million and allow Liat to fold, allow Liat to crumble, would not be in the best interest of Grenada. You spend 1.3, but you're making about 10 times that at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Because Liat is still around to be bringing people in and out. And a lot of people, those who have been taking the emotional approach out there and saying, let Liat close down. Now, notice this year, 2019, we've just launched Spice Mass. The vast majority of persons that are going to be coming into Grenada are going to be through Liat.
Yeah.
We do have no inter-island ferry. There's no boat coming up from Trinidad or coming across from Barbados or coming down the islands to Grenada for Spice Mass. And therefore, the volumes of people who cannot get a direct flight, be it JetBlue, American Airlines, or whoever, who cannot get that direct flight into Grenada, these people have to take a connection via Liat. So they fly into Barbados because they'll get the flight into Barbados, or they fly into Trinidad, or they fly into St. Lucia, and they get the connecting flight between St. Lucia or Barbados or Trinidad and Grenada. Thousands of people that are going to be coming here for Spice Mass 2019, God's willing. Now, if you remove Liat from that equation, you know who's going to suffer? The taxi men who are down on the airport right now, who already start to count how much they go in and pay the bank for the vehicle that they looking to take or the one that they take already and they're paying off on. Who already saying, well, child number 1, child number 2, child number 3, this one going to MCC has school fees to pay, this one CXC had to pay and so on. Those taxi men on the airport who already start to calculate how they're taking care of the children and the grandchildren and so on. You are endangering them when Liat ain't running. You're endangering them because the amount of money that they can make is going to be severely reduced. You're endangering the guest houses that have the bookings of the people that need to get in, that are going to be taking the connecting flights via Liat and can't get those connecting flights into Grenada. You're going to affect them. They may have to send home staff because they don't have the volume of business that they expected to have during the July-August season. You are affecting the farmers and the fishermen who would have been providing the food stuff to these guest houses and the restaurants and the bars and the hotels, who would have been providing the food stuff to them in larger numbers during the period July-August. So you can't just say, let Liat fall. You can't say, just let Liat close down.
You have too much to lose.
You as a country is going to be the biggest loser. Well, so you're going to feel satisfied. So you're there and you're watching and you rub your hands and you're satisfied. Yes, Liat get in the tail, they close down. Right. But then you're seeing people around you going home. That's making no sense.
And you see, one of the things that I always take into consideration, over the last 30 or 40 years, right, we have seen so many smaller airlines and so come into the Caribbean and fold up, left Liat standing there, right, because the efficiency, right, safety and everything of Liat. I mean, there is problems, yes, we understand that, right, but we as Caribbean people need to come together to save the pride of the Caribbean. Right? Yeah. That's how I see it. We need to.
So Liat is important as a connection between Grenada and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. And it helps us because sometimes you want to go to the UK. Yeah, Devon? Mm-hmm. You want to go to the UK and you're going to head from the UK, from Grenada, you're going to go to Barbados and get your connecting flight to go to the UK. You're going to head from Grenada and you go to Trinidad, you get a connecting flight to the UK or to St. Lucia. I've done the connection before through Barbados and through St. Lucia to head to the UK. Yeah, and sometimes you have to get that connection via Liat. Yeah, so it is important. I think someone is saying that they're not getting audio, but I think that's a problem on your side, my friend. It is not a problem on our end. I think it may be a problem on your end. So Liat is very important to the economy of Grenada. And to simply say that you remove an aspect of the economy, basic studies in economics, there are basic principles that you have to follow. If you have to build an economy, one of them is transportation of goods and services and people in and out of a territory. So let's say, speaking about the economy of Grenada, it's important that if Grenada has to have a factory that's producing stuff, that you have a proper port, but not just port, but ships and boats and planes and so on that are coming in to bring goods and services out and to bring goods and services in, raw materials and so in. That's a basic principle in economics. I've never studied economics, let me tell you earlier, but it's a basic principle in economics. Yeah? That's why when you look at capital cities, you realize capital cities are not built in the middle of a country, in the middle of the forest. Every capital city around the Caribbean is built next to the water because you must have a port to bring goods and services in and goods and services out. Name one capital city that ain't built on a port in the Caribbean, on the water. Everyone.
Most everyone, yeah.
Well, not most, all. They're on the water because it's important for transportation purposes to get goods and services in and out. That's why, for instance, when you're looking at the issue of agriculture, that over the years, the new National Party administration has paid so much importance to the issue of the farm roads to get the goods and services in so that farmers could get, whether it's the tractors in to do the work for them, or whether it's to get their manure in and so on, or to get the goods out, to get the baskets of mangoes or the cocoa, to get the sauce up out without it bouncing up and down and bruising, and by the time it reaches nobody want to buy it, to get it in and out. That is why the importance of the farm road project that has been taking place over the years. Yeah? So when you look at these different aspects of economy, it's important that an airline like Liat, or at least a airline, have that responsibility to be able to come in and out of Grenada, bring business people in, and also Grenadians who want to transact business to bring us out.
Some persons want Liat to fold up or to be gone. But I'm asking myself, at this point in time, what is the other alternative? Who is there to replace Liat? I mean, this airline industry, you don't close down and then you wait another 2 months and so for somebody to pop up and show interest to run on the route. It can't happen like that. We have to ensure that we manage, right, Liat, right, our own airline, and ensure we make it viable for the entire Caribbean. That is where we have to go.
Yeah. We may not always like, and I've used Liat, so we're all speaking as people that had to use Liat over a period of time. At one point in time, this is here taking plane like bus. I've used Liat, and I understand Liat's weaknesses and their strengths. And Liat of 5 years ago is not the Liat of now. Outside of the improvements in the planes and so that they have, their attitude, the service, the intent, we want to leave on time, we want to arrive on time. All of that. I was pleasantly surprised when they are going, and I got down to Maurice Bishop International Airport. Got down there and was sitting talking with an older gentleman outside, just having a chat. Because I was early for the flight. When I say early, real early for the flight. Let's say the flight was supposed to leave a little after 8. And got there, 7 o'clock. And the Liat staff came like they were looking for somebody, and they say, Sheldon Scott, yeah. And as the gentleman, his name, he say, yeah. They say, okay, just all we waiting for, we're going to leave early. Everybody here, so we will just go on time. Everybody checked in already, so we can leave early. You understand? And you're surprised because Liat leaving early. Everybody who was booked on the flight were there. And checked in, so they said, well, it makes no sense we sit down on the tarmac here waiting for the time. Let's leave.
Let's leave on time. Yeah, you're ahead of time. And Sheldon, look, Liat, the safest in the world. The safest in the world. When it comes to the record of staying in the sky, right? And so when you look at the casualties or whatever, accidents or whatever, check Liat, compare them with any other airline.
Well, Liat is I have checked the ratings, and Liat is one of the safest, not the safest, one of the safest. In fact, the safest airlines they have in the world right now are Air Canada, and there's Finnair, I think it is. Air Canada and Finnair. They've warned people not to travel on any plane that going in or out of Russia. And then as soon as I read that, there was a crash the day after. Yeah, so... But Liat has a very high rating when it comes to airline safety and security and so on. They have had in the past the issues with time. That's why people say Liat stand to leave island anytime. Lord, I am traveling. We all know over the years. That's what it says Liat stand for. So they have improved a lot. And we have to give Jacket and Joan, she blows, does it? Yeah. Liat have improved their operation significantly. And Pele is mentioning the aspect of the Liat provides ticket taxes, airport service charges, VAT, customs and excise duties, among other taxes, levies, etc. Yes, so they do provide outside of the people that they bring in and the goods and services that they bring in, and so they are providing taxes to each of the territories. Which dials me back to 2017, I believe it is, when Prime Minister Mitchell called at an OECS meeting, called on the different heads within the OECS to lower the taxes so that the ticket price could go down. The price of intra-regional travel is too high.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not Liat's fault, it's the regional government's fault. And Prime Minister Mitchell told the other leaders, because if he do it and the others don't do it, the price ain't going to go down. And all going to happen is just that Grenada would be losing revenue and the other islands would continue making their money.
Yeah.
So Grenada is willing. The Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, at the heads of government for the OECS, told them, listen, we have to lower the rates. We have to lower the taxes. It's too expensive. That is not Liat's fault. That is the regional government's fault.
Mm-hmm.
So they must lower their taxes to make Liat more viable.
And you find it's business simple. You lower the taxes, the tickets become cheaper, more people travel.
Yeah.
Much more people travel.
Man, you could tell me that I could get a ticket for $250 to go to St. Lucia.
Exactly.
$250 to go, $250 to come back. He's here, $250 to go, $250 to come back. And I ain't going. I in St. Lucia this weekend. I might even be in St. Lucia next weekend. You would travel.
A lot of more inter-regional travel when you have that.
You're going to increase, you're not going to lose. Exponentially, as a country, you will not lose. Because the volume of traffic in and out of your country is going to increase. And what you may have lost by reducing on the taxes, you're going to make by the volume of people that are going to be coming in and out. So you're not going to lose. You might even make more by reducing the taxes.
For example, a typical example, the trade between Grenada, Trinidad, even St. Vincent. I know a number of years ago, in early time, like perhaps 80s, early 90s, most of the traffickers used to travel with Liat to go to Trinidad, right? Most of them, Liat used to have to put on an extra flight, right, after Tuesday, Wednesday, to accommodate, all these people. Not now. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
morning.
Good morning.
How are you behaving?
Oh, we're fine.
Steel pan man.
And the gentleman next to you, is he behaving fine just as well?
I tried.
Oh, my. Well, they can't fault you for your effort. At least we'll have to show good faith.
You could only try.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, so you're good? You're just saying good morning, man.
Yeah, man, but...
How are you doing?
Yes, go ahead.
Nice. How things shaping up for the carnival season?
Yeah.
I think carnival will be just fine. Fun itself will be just fine, just the same way.
Nice, beautiful.
I find you say that, but your tone of voice is not convincing to me.
Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. If it wasn't convincing, let me convince you now. It will be great.
And
is that better for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's better for me, but sometimes you have to back up what the claim that you make. You have to back it up.
In time.
All right.
Have a little faith.
Well, yeah, and I will wait. I will take your word for it, and in time we'll get as much, and we'll get to know what much more is going on with Pan.
Yes. Don't believe everything you read.
And the good thing about it, I don't read much.
Oh, okay then, good. So you and I are on the same page. I just wanted to make a small comment on the issue with Liat. And the fact that, yes, ticket prices are driving Caribbean people away from traveling. I mean, they just concluded Liat, not Liat, but the Antigua Sailing Week. Generally you had several boats out of the lower islands in the Caribbean, like Trinidad, Grenada, etc., going up to take part in that regatta. And this year there was no one, from the extreme south. And again, everybody who spoke to complain of the fact is that it's just too expensive to travel. So we have to do something about that, because it's killing travel, and by extension it's killing cultural activities and sporting activities.
Yeah, it is. And even intra-regional trade, as Devon mentioned, is being affected. You have it taking place, but it could be more. Devon was just mentioning some of the what you call them again? The traffickers that head down to Trinidad. And what they would do is they take a plane, they go down to Trinidad, they organize all this stuff that coming down on the boat. So they meet the boat down there, they organize this stuff, and then they take the plane and they come back while they send this stuff up. Exactly. But not much of them are doing that now because the price.
Yeah, it's not profitable for most of them anymore.
Yeah, because you're finding that the price you were paying for a ticket to Trinidad was the same that you're paying for a ticket to Miami or New York.
Exactly.
Well, that's quite true. I mean, the cost to have gone to Antigua this year from Grenada was you can buy 2 tickets to Miami for that. I mean, and it's just ridiculous.
That's really out of order now. It's really out of order.
Something has to be done drastic and soon.
Yeah. So Prime Minister has called on the other heads of government to lower the taxes so that if everybody come together and say we're lowering the taxes, the ticket price could come to a reasonable level. So that, Brian, when we're ready to go to Creole Festival, me and you, we jump a plane and we gone.
I ain't planning to go no rich. You're not coming now, you can't reach in Carriacou.
Don't worry, we go hang out.
I want to be in the port of entry when you arrive in Carriacou and I'd be part of the crowd of people that will put you back on the boat. I join in and to help put you back on the boat from Carriacou.
Carriacou people would never do me that. All right, my brother.
Just as how you are related to some Carriacou, me just the same here too, you know. So I'm influenced.
We go see who family bigger.
All right, father. Anyway, only enjoy all day.
All right, boss. You take care.
Yeah, so government of Grenada continues to support Liat. I know the good thing about this is that when you look at Liat now, if you have somebody like Richard Branson showing interest in Liat, if you now have shares, it means that if he's coming to take over and he has to buy your shares, he has to pay a significant amount of money. So you're not going to be losing, you're going to be gaining. There's only a profit for you to be made if he decides that he's going to buy your shares. But let's say somebody like Richard Branson decides that he's not going to buy your shares, but he is going to buy the majority shares. So he's going to become a shareholder. Just by his name and his organization being attached to Liat, the value of Liat shares triples or quadruples.
Yep.
Just by him touching that and saying, I am going to get seriously involved in this airline. I'm going to align it. So you might take a Virgin Atlantic from London to Barbados, and then you take the Virgin Leeward Islands from Barbados over to the region or so. I'm not saying that is what is happening. I'm saying that the possibility is there since it has been mentioned that he has interest.
Virgin Liat.
Yeah. His being interested in it. His lending his billions of dollars of business knowledge and so on and acumen behind that. His multi-billion-dollar marketing campaign that he has worldwide. That can only help Liat. That can only help an organization like Liat. Yeah? Folks, the phone lines are open, 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101. Give us a call.
Devon, I did receive not a correction, an update from our good friend Wade. It's now WeiNoiseFM.com. So it's not Noise Radio and WeiVybz Radio. It's WeiNoiseFM.com. Although it looked like We In Noise FM. It's kind of looking like We In Noise. All right. It's the theme is We Are Making Great Noise, 94.9 out there in Brooklyn. Yeah, so you could get it We In Noise. And noise in this instance is NOYZ-FM. That is not a GBSS spelling. That is a Wade spelling. So WEINOYZFM at gmail.com. You could get in contact with him or the website www.WEINOYZFM.com. WeiVybz.com. All right? So We Noise FM. Yeah, so no longer just Noise Radio or WeiVybz Radio, but We Noise is one thing.
94.9 We Noise. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Sheldon Devon.
Hi, morning. How are you?
Not too bad.
All right, go right ahead, sir.
You know, we had an accident in Woburn with a boat where a gentleman lost his life.
I heard something like that a week or so ago.
Right. Well, I went to bring up the GBN. They come and they film the place, and I tell them what is happening. Because we have a bridge there, and all the yachts and them that parking around, in front of the bridge. So when them boat is traveling, they have to go in and out all about. I say somebody's going to get killed, and it happened. I even phone on the radio and talk about it, and nothing is doing. Because during the night, they have little festivity on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're coming home in the night and thing, they have to weave in between the yachts and everything. Up to Sunday, Coast Guard come up there and they just ride around, and they ain't doing nothing about this yacht that is parking there. Because in the meeting, I said,
oh boy, your phone cord, I have a feeling that given that problem, eh? Caller, part of what you just said, we lost it because it seems as though your phone cord. Yeah. If you're using a landline, your phone cord is giving problem. If it's a wireless, it seems as though it's going dead.
Probably where I'm.
Okay, you're good now. You're good now. Stay just so, and go ahead.
Yeah. What is happening there? As when you come out from underneath the bridge, you're going straight into those yachts. You have to zigzag from the yachts.
Yeah.
Right? We had an MPM meeting, and I mentioned all these things to them. They say they're going to look into it. Well, what the minister said, that was about a month ago or 2 months ago, and she was on the television saying, yes, we have this problem out there, and nothing is done about it. And somebody is going to get killed there again. Because when you come out from underneath the bridge, you have to, sometimes the way you going, somebody is coming from there because you cannot see. And I'm asking them, the Coast Guard should go and see that and make the yacht and them move from where they are. Because what we should have is a pathway that you could see each other. But at the moment, you can't see nobody when you go through. It's straight into somebody you're going, you have to pull away.
Wow.
And sometimes it's too late.
So it's a dangerous situation that exists for marinas in that area.
Yeah. Because a man lost his life just like that. With the boat crashing into him. And there was accident before that as well. And I bring it up, and it seems that nobody doing nothing. I wish who is in charge will really do. The Coast Guard could go and get rid of these yachts from parking there. All right?
Okay.
All right.
All right, my brother.
Good.
All right,
very,
thank you.
Very, very important issue. Very important issue. I think we'd have to... Our friends at the Coast Guard, you all know how to find us. Yeah, give me a little buzz and give Devon a little buzz. Let us know what is taking place with that. And so that's along with the bridges in Woburn, I think,
right in
that bridge there. So the yachts parking up along there and they're causing the other stuff to zigzag.
So it creates a sort of blind spot for boats, going in and so.
Then if you have a wake or something passing through, like a wake from another boat, and you're coming through, it could cause a problem if you're passing through a small area. I know much about boats. I just play like I know thing.
But
my brother is the boatman, not me.
But it's important, and it's a signal for our Coast Guard friends out there to just move around, pay attention, listen to what's going on, and see what can be done to prevent things, any dangerous happenings around there and so. All right, you all will know much more of it, the rules and the regulation, that surrounds where you can park and where all these sort of things, your boat and so. So hey, do what can be done. Right, safety is important.
Yeah, right. They're a very, very important issue, and not totally forgetting Liat, but on a related issue, I don't know how many people saw that GBN news report by the airport manager. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
The airport manager. The same thing myself and Devon have been warning persons about for the last couple of years. Nearly happened. Nearly happened. An aircraft was flying to the south of the island and was entangled by a kite. Had to be grounded. Landed safely. Thank goodness. It could have been totally different. Landed safely. But no, the aircraft had to be grounded. And when they were checking the engine to see why the engine failed now, they find the twine from a kite tied up inside it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say which airline, eh? We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Sheldon.
Morning, my dear.
And Devon.
Morning, Camille.
Good morning. And good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, and the rest of the world, both in America, Canada, England. That is special good morning to you, darling, and to Matthew. Well, I'm here. Mr. Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what is in the air in Grenada is the show with Mr. Spice and the promoter, Mr. Sheldon.
Yeah.
In Moonlight City.
Mm-hmm.
The Grenadian people is not satisfied with what went on.
Mm-hmm.
But I want, and that is the second time I'll be using that word this morning. People must not underestimate my intelligence, right? People must not underestimate my intelligence. Okay? So I want them to get that first before they make comments. When I call any radio station and make a comment, I want them to know that. Don't underestimate my intelligence. Okay? That is number one. I listened to Michelle Youngwell on Mr. Spice with an interview concerning what went on with the Jamaican artist and the promoter as a Grenadian here. And Mr. Spice explained to Sherry and Well what went on. And I will quote what he said. It's a job. That is his job. His singing is his job. And so wherever country you go and sing, that is his job. Like somebody working in agriculture and they plant him down on this, that is the job. And he signed a contract and he has to get paid. You don't have all the money, but you pay half. So you don't expect that if you get the rest of money, you're going to go and sing. And the man said, he went up to the place, you know. And when he reached there, the Grenadians was angry and was delighted. One of the persons that carried Mr. Spice in Tivoli is a bus driver and his wife, a bus driver that was coming here. And the man thanked the man wife for treating the way how he was just to be treated. And the promoter, he said, didn't even call him. Right? And he still up his like saying, Mr. Spice tell a lie. Somebody's lying. The man said if a Chinese man hire him, in his words, he go get paid. He go do it work. If a white man hire him, he go get paid, he go do it work. But you here, this man here, didn't even give him a phone call. And then he take out the glasses and he say, watch my eye. Somebody's lying. And so much of people struggle and work for a little money to go and enjoy a show. You understand? You can't do that to people. So my advice to Grenadians, the little money all you want to take and go to a show, invest it in something in Grenada here. Invest it. You have a lot of condemned buildings in Grenada. Invest the money in that and build up place and give Grenadian work to do. Because when I talk about that, you have somebody anchorman that's working in media, people are dumb and stupid. I don't know what that says. I remember in 2011, when Barry Salmon, that show was Saturday in May the 7th, 2011. I sold over $40,000 for the people that had made that show. I still at the post terminal. $40,000 cash here. And when they come and collect the money, they had promised to pay me. They never pay me. The promoters in Grenada, they never pay me, Sammy. I won't call their name. But I still have the piece of paper where they sign and tell me they will help me. They will give me our money. And I make more than $40,000. And I will call a lawyer husband that came and collect the money. Because we're afraid people are rob us the night. So that is some of the things. And I'm going to, that is only one of this show that will be missing me with Buju. I don't go in. I don't go in the show. And I think if that guy was in a problem in giving the man in excess of money, Sheldon, he should have called on the Prime Minister and asked him for money to finish pay the man and had the show to please the Grenadian people. And the other people are saying the man go give people money. The police hold up the man here. The man lost his flight. One of them that is in Grenada right now, I think is the best man that day. And that is not nice. Too much of scorn people in Grenada that have scorned people for their money. They have scorned Grenadians. Or you invest all your money in Grenada. I don't want to go to no university and college to speak. Too much. And I don't like that apology that Mr. Sheldon. He didn't even watch in the camera. You have to come better than that. You have to come better than that, Sheldon, and explain certain things to the Grenadian people. And whoever have the money, bring it out. A lot of people, I had even yesterday, a man come here angry. A busman from Grenville come angry and tell me that come as you. I say it's not Sheldon Scott. That is the promoter. You understand? And that is bad for the country. And they must do the right thing. A lot of people is like that. Have a good day, Grenada.
All right, my dear.
All right, Carrie.
As I say, I know. I think I know. By Friday, is people on to something else again. People gonna be on to something else again. Because all kind of back and forth and opinion and this and that. Devon could talk. Devon went the show. Devon was one of the people affected and so on. I think knowing myself, me, Sheldon, Scott, not Douglas, Scott, knowing how the contracts work, understanding what is needed, and from listening to both Mikey Spice and listening to Sheldon Douglas, me personally, I understand what took place. It's unfortunate. We hope something like that never happens again. It's unfortunate. But the representative of the artist says they're going to do a show and they're going to do a free show, right? I think a lot of people, that's what they wanted to hear. Whether they're going to get their money back, which is kind of difficult considering they do have ticket stubs and so on. So I could walk in and say that I was there and I want back my money.
Even if they had ticket stubs, it still have been sort of impossible. It's just better to, management of both parties agree to have a show and they will still make money out of that show.
Let me play We Don't Know We People. By Friday, they don't talk about that. Everybody hot and excited and up and down and by Friday. We don't talk about that by Friday. But Liat, that is important. That is here for us right through. Yeah. And what we were just speaking about there as well, not discounting anything that Cami just says, right? She has her view in relation to it. And so, the issue of the kites. Please, listen, I just have a simple solution to this, Royal Grenada Police Force.
No
anybody you see flying a kite in any of those the following areas: Mount Morris, Yeah, man flying kite in Mount Morris and you're slacking it in to the circle path because sometimes when the flight circle in is over Mount Morris and tongue they pass in. Mount Morris, Monjalou, Calice, Frequente,
Fort Judy,
Quarantine Point. Say it again.
Fort Judy.
Yeah.
Especially around Fort Judy.
Yeah. You're into the flight path. You're endangering lives. Is nearly a terrorist act. No, I'm being brutally serious with this. Flying kites in those areas, slacking them out into the flight path of an aircraft is nearly the same as a terrorist act. Because by one piece of stupidness, you flying a kite in an area that people begging you not to fly it in, that kite can end up into the engine of one of the larger planes and cause the loss of many, many lives of both people in the air and even people on the land. Because the pilot going to try his best not to bring it down in the water. He's going to try to bring it down as close as possible to land as he can. Yeah? And you could cause the loss of life of many people. Yeah? That could cause the loss of life. So to me, if you can't hear, as my mother always used to say, who can't hear, go feel.
Go feel.
So if it had to be that, if it had to be considered a terrorist act, somebody go say I'm going overboard now, calling kite flying a terrorist act. I know. Somebody go say I'm going overboard. But to me, it's like that. To me, it's like that. Imagine this thing nearly brought down a plane. A plane had to land. The plane could not leave again. People's lives were endangered simply because some of us won't hear, don't fly kites in those areas. We won't hear. We don't listen. And now they also instituted proper procedures for flying drones.
Yeah.
Because not only here in Grenada, throughout the world, they've been having a problem with drones.
Just invading the airspace. Mm-hmm. So it's not. No pili. I don't have the evidence that I went to the show. Mm-hmm. But one or two persons can vouch for me.
Yeah. Carvel, morning. You see, one of the problems we have here is that sometimes we fly our kites. Nice. But you have to understand, it's some kind of lasher. It's not back in the days you're flying a little cookery and you're slacking with a piece of thread, flying wheel thread. Remember flying wheel thread?
Yeah, man.
Those on the wooden spool? Mm-hmm. Them young people they know about that, boy. Flying wheel thread. That is an important kind of thread couldn't bust, you know. Yeah, you could have fish with that if you want. You're taking that and you're slacking your little cookery or you're slacking your little flexi and you write no. These days, some people want to make kite taller than house. With big plank of wood and bamboo.
And tail.
Like...
I see a kite reaching me by my knee. And the tail long as from the stadium to perhaps by the gas station on Melbourne Street. And I know joking, they had the tail in buckets. 2 buckets, they have the tail. So the rest of 2 buckets, one on each side.
Be careful.
And so imagine these things up there. And they're in the path of an aircraft, and so what could happen?
Probably we need to get an organization to start back what used to be the flow kite flying competition up on Pearls and things. So people you go Pearls and you fly a kite. Mm-hmm. It's going towards the center of the island, or if it going near that. You're safe from Pearls, you're safe.
Yeah, there are a number of other places around the country that can be used for flying kite. You know, when
although
you have competition.
SVG air does kind of pass that side coming up, so you still have to watch out. But
the height of SVG and so would not really.
But you'll be very surprised. Yeah. You'll be extremely surprised. You're passing and you're watching it right here. Yeah.
But we just have to be careful and listen, pay attention, and as we say, we don't want people to feel when they can't hear. All right.
Pele, you know about flying wheel thread? You know anything about flying wheel thread? You know you have to use flying wheel thread with? Those old singer sewing machine that you used to pedal with your foot. Yeah. No electric, you know. Yeah. Them that you had the whole thing.
You still have them, you know.
Boy, them thing is classic. Yeah, but they worth a lot of money right now.
They don't mash up, they're antique.
In fact, I remember back in the 1990s or early 2000s, Singer Grenada, before they folded up, Singer Grenada actually started taking them back. They were asking people to bring in these old antique sewing machines and they were replacing them with the modern ones.
The modern ones.
And some stupid people bring it in and get them.
And take them modern thing. They don't last a good year.
Not only don't last a good year, the old time sewing machines worth a lot of money right now. They're antiques. You don't just go and bring in an antique and give somebody and they get, sometimes we doesn't know what we have.
You ever get lashed with the kind of thing
spindle?
like the fine
but that does it hard, boss.
You're wrong with you. Like
that's
a fan belt, you know.
That's it hard, real hard. As a child, you ever go and sit down on it and underneath, when it was small enough, go and sit down underneath the sewing machine.
And
feel like you're driving.
Pedal, yeah.
So folks, all of that to say though, be very careful with the kites. Those of you with drones, you must register your drones. You must go to the Royal Grenada Police Force. I think there is an office as well in the Carriacou building that you have to go to and register. So they'll take the details of the drone you have. You go to the Royal Grenada Police Force as well. And then for the instructions of where and how you could fly your drone, permission, you go to the Grenada Airports Authority. So three areas you have to go to with it. Yes, Pele, I used to sit down on it and pedal and play bus. Yeah. So you have to go to the three. That's all lies. You have to go to the three of them to register your drones. And we're saying this in the interest of public safety. Yeah, we're saying all of this in the interest of public safety. It's very important. All right, nice. I think we have a caller online.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Not too bad, my friend.
Yeah, we're talking about the machine, singer machine. Where coach is there now? Noble Smith was there. And I have a machine I buy from them. And I still have it new as what?
But them think you are done cast iron, no? Cast iron, no plastic, cast iron, ain't it?
I have. Yeah? So.
And what year you buy that?
And it's in good condition.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's good.
All right.
All right,
sir.
my friend. Yeah.
Most you just have to get is needle.
Yeah, needle.
Most you have to get needle and thread.
Needle and thread.
And you get a little oil every now and again.
Oil, special machine oil and so in the little tube. That's all it needs and it's working like hell. Wipe down and everything like that. And you come go and play around it, thing, you know, your mother give one among the like, boy, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What you want me to sew with? How you go to school? And back then,
you buying uniform, you making uniform?
Yeah, our mothers and our grandmothers and so, right, used to ensure that our clothes were fitted properly on us, and so even if they bought it, they have to take in and whatever. I mean, it was so handy to have a sewing machine in the house, and all the young ladies who grew up in that house had to learn to sew. Couldn't make no mistake. You had to spend time learning to sew. Yeah, you know.
So, Devon, we've spoken about after the postcard, we've spoken about the LIAT issue. And the importance of LIAT to the local economy and the region as well. The issue of the price, the taxes on tickets and so on. Prime Minister Mitchell did speak about that. We have seen an improvement in the operations of LIAT over the years. We have seen. Because, Prime Minister Mitchell was one of the people that used to say straight up, he's not going to put anything into LIAT.
Exactly.
But that was a former position. You held that position before. You said, I will not put anything into HARDTALK if HARDTALK does not improve. And then HARDTALK improves, so you put something into it.
Exactly.
You say, nice, I see some improvements and so I put something into HARDTALK.
To continue that improvement and betterment,
if after you put in your seat start to go the next direction, then you say, nah, all you joking, man, nothing again.
And then by Prime Minister Mitchell contributing towards LIAT, Grenada's stake in terms of not just shares, but its entire management, right, will be looked at much more.
But one of the important things that he has said, though, to kind of against that point, though, is that he has been very clear that political interference in the operations of LIAT has to end. So don't expect Grenada to be saying, we want LIAT to fly here or fly there or this, that.
No, you won't find that.
It has to be operated as a business. It's a business, and it has to be operated as such. It has to make money. Yeah, it has to make money. It has to do that. So it has to operate as a business. So don't expect the Prime Minister of Grenada or government ministers in Grenada, government of Grenada to be saying, "Watch, we want Liat." No. Once you see that Liat is going along the right path and they're operating it as a business without all the political influences, one country say, well, okay, we want more flights coming in by we and that one. No. It has to be based on business, because you might want more flights coming in, expecting more people to come in, but then when you check the bookings, there's less people and you have the plane busy flying to a destination that don't have nobody. Plane going with 3 and 4 people on it. That'll be a waste of funds. So there's also the possibility that some routes will have less flights going to them. Yeah? Some routes would have less flights going to them, and you will have flights at times that they can maximize on the volume of people looking to travel and wanting to travel, that sort of thing. So there are various things that we're going to be looking at when it comes to the issue of Liat. All right? Nice. And I didn't hear they raise it this morning, strange enough. They didn't raise oil and gas this morning. How they gone quiet on that, so no?
Well, I guess...
Since after we say what we say, I find they gone quiet.
The explanation and everything, and then now that we exposed, because a lot of Grenadians could not have believed that elements within the NDC complain and making all sorts of accusations and so, and they were the ones who were in office in 2008, between 2008 and 2013. The agreement was right there for them to see. They had the agreement. Right, I sure they made copies of it and walked out when they got kicked out in 2013.
Yeah,
you understand? So they know it wasn't a secret.
Yeah,
you know.
So it is no secret. Is it no secret that the NDC could be coming out and talking? Well, look, you know, I think they're meeting with the IMF right now.
Oh, NDC?
Yeah, they meet with the IMF. Go and meet them. I know which ones are them they meeting with, because it can't be the parliamentary team, because one of them wasn't there when that meeting taking place. But well, that meeting should finish by now. Yeah, I feel like might finish by now. IMF went to meet with them. I know the IMF will be meeting with the Prime Minister and the different ministers, and so they're doing their quarterly review. So, you know, every now and again they come to not only Grenada, all countries. They go and they do their quarterly review. So they're doing their quarterly review of Grenada right now. So they meet with the government. I want to say opposition, but you see there.
Yeah, no opposition in Grenada, so don't give them that title.
Right, yeah. The de facto, as it's called itself. But anyway, so they're meeting with these individuals. They're meeting with the business community. I think they will meet as well with the trade unions. Usually they try to meet with the trade unions. And so I know, they'll go tell them.
They'll go tell them that next election you go vote out the government.
No, he will want the government vote out because he want to be voted in.
Yeah.
But LL had to remember something. His election comes before the NNP own. That's all I had to tell Lydon Lewis. His election comes before the government own.
Yeah.
All right. So you go see who go get vote out first.
And this year, they meeting with the IMF. They trying to secure a loan to restructure and everything like that.
No, run them out on Grenada, normal thing.
Okay.
Yeah, run them out on Grenada. They wouldn't go and meet with the IMF and say anything good taking place in Grenada. They're going to run them out.
Well, I mean, it's the IMF.
Denise, good morning.
The IMF already know what is going on in Grenada, right? Because they are using Grenada as a model.
But they look for different perspectives.
Yeah, and everything like that. So they go in there and saying what, I mean, they don't have to. It don't really make a sense because the support that this government is getting from the international organization and so is tremendous. Right.
Over the weekend, though, I saw someone post an article. I just feel like I wouldn't talk about it, and I'll talk about it. Over the weekend, I saw someone post an article up in relation to oil and gas in Guyana, and where I think it's ExxonMobil.
Yeah, ExxonMobil.
They allowed the government of Guyana to release the details of their contractual arrangement with the government of Guyana for the exploration of oil and gas. And some people are saying, well, if that happened in Guyana, we can't. First of all, for them to get the permission, it had to be a secret arrangement, which is what the government of Grenada has been saying from day one, that these arrangements are not put out into the public domain.
Just like that.
Yeah. ExxonMobil could do that now because they already proved that they have how much, I think it's millions or whatever, barrels of oil and gas underground in Guyana. They already proved that. And they already into a contract with that and so on, how they're going to use that and so. When it comes to Grenada's case, yes, you have proved that there are reserves and so. but the entire process has not completed. Yeah? You've started the testing phase and so to find out how much the quality of what you have, and if there are other viable wells and so on that you're drilling. You need at least 2 or 3 more wells, according to what we heard from the representative from the Ministry of Energy a couple weeks back. You need to drill, last week I think it was, not a couple weeks, last week. You need to do a couple more wells and so. But with all this said, it's the hypocrisy of the National Democratic Congress, those bunch of hypocrites, to come out, and I'm not speaking about the rank and file member. Don't watch your neighbor and call them no hypocrite because they are NDC. They are Grenadian. I'm speaking of the executive of the NDC. Those individuals who are trying to distance themselves from the period 2008 to 2013 as much as possible, who had full access to the same thing that they're telling you that the NNP government keep in secret.
Yeah.
They had it in their hands for a whole 4.5 years and never decided that it was okay to come out and tell you, the Grenadian people, what was in it. But now they're saying NNP wicked because NNP doing that. NNP ain't coming out and tell you. And come on, man.
And they met with the company, right, and everything like that for a number of times. They met with the company and so to get much more details and everything like that. How come within that 4.5 years, if that was such a treasonous act or such a bad deal, right, for the Grenadian people, how come you, as the intelligent bunch at the time, quote unquote, right, didn't say anything about that or didn't make any attempt to change that deal? I'm wondering why.
But they say they were trying to renegotiate and so. How could you attempt to renegotiate something that you don't know what it contains?
Exactly.
Come on, maybe I'm the stupid one. Let me ask the question. Maybe I'm the stupid. How can you renegotiate something without knowing what you're renegotiating?
It's a secret one, so.
Because if you're trying to renegotiate something, it means that you ought to know what is in the thing that you're trying to renegotiate. I have a contract, and I look at the contract. Devon gives me a contract to provide a service. I look at the contract, I say, nah, boy, I find I should be paid more, or I find I should get more, or I find this should be more even, or some kind of thing I want to renegotiate. I go to Devon and say I want to renegotiate because I've seen the contract. If I don't see it, why go in and tell them I want to renegotiate and reorganize and that sort of thing? But they said that they were attempting to renegotiate together with GPG. They were trying to renegotiate.
I wonder what they was trying to negotiate.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to find out.
Very interesting.
But it's the hypocrisy of that organization, the blatant hypocrisy of that organization to continue to give the Grenadian people the impression, and these are the things that they attempt to do, to give the Grenadian people the impression that this is a deal signed after 2013. No. This is a deal that was signed in 2007. And they had it in their hands 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, up to
the 19th of February
2013. And as sure as Devon says, so they make copy and go with it.
Yeah. Knowing the elements that was involved around the Ministry of Finance and the Prime Minister's ministry, they capable of doing all these things.
They had an energy consultant out of Barbados who just happens to be related to a certain person who was in the ministry.
Family,
Yeah, they had people that were there in the Ministry of Energy and all
I'm paying him a hefty salary,
Yeah, they had individuals that were there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that is an energy, so that is dealing with that same oil and gas thing. That a person inside there. Yeah, so at the end of the day, to give the impression that you don't know and that there's some sort of secrecy and the NNP hiding thing and all sorts of nonsense. And so it is the industry standard to ensure that these things are not made public. Right? It's like Coca-Cola coming out and tell you what they put in Coca-Cola. They want nobody to know it because then everybody go stay home and make their own Coke and they wouldn't sell none. It's like KFC telling you what they're seasoning the chicken with.
And I just say it's totally up to both company and government, right, to release what they want to release to the public, because based on the agreement that they have signed and everything like that. You know, you have to, because, hey, it's a competitive world out there, as you always say. So you have to be careful when negotiations are going on, when it comes to, matters of billions of dollars. You understand? What of things. So we have to be very careful. So those of them who continue to say, it's a secret deal and blah blah blah. How come you all know certain parts of it? If it's so secret, how come you all able to divulge certain information on your talk show and so on? I mean, come on.
You know what?
We're trying to fool.
I think this particular issue requires some clips. I want to get some clips.
Yeah.
Days.
We have to find some clips.
I ain't gonna play clips today. I'll get some clips over the next
Yeah,
days.
and
specific
show
to
them.
oil and gas under NDC, to let people see how hypocritical they are. But you see, what they're trying to do as well, as I continue to say, is that they have the culling of the herd. So everybody was involved in the government during that period of time. Philip Alexander, your time coming too. That's why they send you to speak on oil and gas. They want us to attack you. Yeah? So they're culling the herd. They are trying to get rid of everybody who was a parliamentarian or senior figure within the administration of 2008 to 2013. They want to get rid of all.
They consider all of you all as failures.
Yeah, they want to get rid of all. Is this a certain NDC rep and a station owner getting sued?
Wow.
Yeah, a station owner in Carriacou not getting sued, he gets sued.
Get sued, wow.
Yeah, there's a difference between getting sued and guess who, you know.
What's new with that?
Let me say it like this, he not getting sued and guess who, he guess who. Guess who?
According to the parliamentary rep, he would not learn.
See, Depot is saying, not to be a distraction, but you guys may not be aware that many years ago, 2 drums of Liat's aviation fluids worked its way to the shores of St. Vincent, and many drank it to their demise. Drink aviation fuel.
Wow.
I'm convinced that some people are still drinking that brew bottle under a fancy name. Considering how Sunset is, I wouldn't doubt it. Considering how Sunset, I wouldn't doubt it.
That perhaps, that's where Sunset, the formula for Sunset came out, Depot.
There are lots of things in our history that people forget, like when the mine exploded in Carriacou and killed a set of people. You know that happened, right?
Yeah.
After World War II, one of the magnetic mines, it came up on shore. I think it would be Windward, Dover area, Windward down there.
One of the beaches, yeah.
Windward, one of the mines came up. People thought it was some kind of chest, so they went and take chisel trying to open it, exploded, and kill a set of people.
Yep, them big old thing. Before, back in the day.
Well, during World War II, they had these mines that, the magnetic mines they would put around. So when a submarine was passing, it would stick to the submarine and explode.
Yeah.
Or when a ship was passing, it would stick to the ship and explode. But you'd also put them to ensure the safety of a particular passage area. And one of them broke loose and came on shore in Carriacou. And a set of people died with that. And there are many things in our history that we forget. The Island Queen. Met somebody in Carriacou that said the Island Queen was no accident. That was a submarine sinking.
It was sunk.
Yeah.
Disappeared between the islands. Nobody know.
Met a very old man in Carriacou and he said the Island Queen didn't just disappear like that. He says a submarine that blew it up and then they come, they surface, they take all they had to take and they hide it.
Yep.
So he said, don't look at the Island Queen like it just disappeared. It didn't just disappear.
It was a mistaken identity.
Some of the young people wonder what we're talking about. They don't know about the Island Queen. They may know of the Bianca Sea.
Yeah.
But they know about the Island Queen. There are many things in our history that sometimes we forget.
Yep.
Sometimes we forget. Sometimes the older folks, they're talking to us about it and we go on to play video game or we go on to watch TV instead.
What do them man? It's old time talk. What are they talking about?
Well, you need to know those things.
The serious history, you know.
My grandmother saying all the good looking people from Grenada dead on the Island Queen.
No, I go have an issue with her with that.
My grandmother used to say that. Maybe all the good looking people at that time.
I would have challenged. I would have challenged. And talking about beautiful and good looking, right? Upper level promotion Mother's Day Queen Show. Yes, annual Mother's Day Queen Show. Right? That's the 12th of May at Victoria Park in Grenville. 7 beautiful mothers will be vying the stage from different parts of St. Andrews. It starts at 5 p.m. Yeah, it's $25 for ticket. Go out there and support the mothers and upper level promotion. Yeah, Peter Bain and his gang.
Yeah. And the Marquee Breakfast Village, that's coming up at the Marquee Basketball Court on Saturday the 1st of June. and cultural activities, other entertainment on sale. They can have baked saltfish, smoke herring, fish, chicken. All food is 100% local, and music by popular DJs. So they're having a breakfast on the Marquee Basketball Court on the 1st of June. So all the busmen that passing along the East Coast and all of you that passing along the East Coast or live in surrounding areas.
Number 2 and number 7. But stop off and let the passenger get something to eat. Breakfast, you know?
Yeah, look at something to nyam.
Yeah.
You understand? Nice. That's going to be beautiful. Folks, 4407377.
And 347-329-3101.
Yes, indeed.
And not forgetting all the food and all the thing to drink, all the tanya log and everything at
the police.
The police.
Yeah, we might have a visit from the police tomorrow.
Well, that'll be good. More details. I hope they walk in.
When police come into hard talk, we does not to worry. That's certain man not to worry when police get into. Anyway, let me watch people out.
Super. Could you send whoever is coming, if it's you or whoever, could you send the tanya log for us, please?
We're going to use it to do.
What tanya log is made for to drink?
You have a sink that leaking and you need some glue or something. You need some silicone.
That tanya log where you clog up.
2 years, I think.
You tell silicone right now. So yeah, it's Saturday, Sheldon. Yeah, go there and support. Right? Support the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, the prisons.
This weekend too. They had a big show, the Long Walk to Freedom Buju show.
Yeah, Buju.
By the time Buju show it all forget about Mikey Spice last week.
Yeah, by the time tomorrow and more adverts and so come out to the Buju show and all them kind of things. So hey, and congrats to all the local artists, right, who have been given an opportunity to be part of the Buju show. Right? That's Judah, big up and continue the good work, my brother.
Stranger.
Yeah.
How come the NDC has not been able to challenge what we're saying in relation to oil and gas?
Well, they can't. It's facts. It's hard for you to dispute. I mean, it's only stupid people that would do that, you know, to argue with facts. When you have facts presented to you, I mean, stupidity alone that would cause you to argue.
Something Cammy said that just come back to me, you know. Boy, let me remind all you again, Sheldon Scott, that is me. Not me that do any show. The next thing I got innocent big stone somewhere or some kind of thing. Not Sheldon Scott. All right. And also not this hard talk that gets sued in Carriacou.
Carriacou. We had nothing to do with Carriacou and suing and all them kind of things.
We had nothing to do with that.
Okay. We
that have absolutely nothing to do with hard talk here. Right?
Hey, Hannah. Tomorrow, please the Lord, hopefully I'll give you a list of the names of the 7 queens and where they basically from, from the big parish. All of them who is partaking. 7 beautiful mothers.
Yeah. And since you hear the police having their food fest, it means Police Week coming up. It means Police Week is coming up just now. And Police Week usually comes up with a lot of activities. Last year, I did keep my promise and I went to the Queen show. The King and Queen show.
Yeah.
I kept my promise and I went. The only thing is, buddy, I was coming down with this flu at the point in time, so I couldn't stay through the Calypso competition. But I was there for the King and Queen competition last year. We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Devon and Sheldon.
Good morning, my friend.
Yeah, this is Peter being calling, just saying thanks for,
Peter!
I'm chatting about the Queen show a little bit,
Yes.
Yeah, thanks much.
Who are the ladies? You might be able to say it off of your head, but which villages are represented, and if you remember, who representing them?
Well, we have 7 lovely contestants.
Yes.
As you know, the show is on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We've got one from Telescope, one from Paradise, Mount Horn, Birch Grove.
Sab.
I'm telling you, Sab, that's correct.
La Poterie.
You know them.
Paradise.
Don't put Devon as no judge, that way trying to get in.
And Moncton, I think.
And Moncton.
Devon, why you put him as a judge? Don't get up in that,
And not only that, you have a Romain lady there, so you know
a Romain from La Poterie,
yes,
that's correct.
So I vying for her.
And she's doing fine.
The least Romain,
Yes. And I must applaud the contestants. They're doing really, really good in the practicing. And look out for a bumper show on Sunday.
That is good to know.
I can guarantee the judge is going to have a hard time.
I ain't letting you run away, this is how much years now you're doing that show?
This is the 16th year, actually.
16th?
Yes.
That is
Originally, we had it for a few years at the Deluxe Cinema, but it's grown at that venue, so it's in Victoria Park now.
So we're talking since before Ivan. The year before Ivan.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, since a couple of years before Ivan we started, yes.
And that's good.
Well, listen, I want nobody make no joke with me for the rest of the week because I hold all my laugh for that show, you know.
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's a pride for St. Andrews around Mother's Day. You find hundreds of persons coming out and support. And where it's at the Victoria Park, the venue is bigger and much more persons can come out and have fun, support the mothers.
Yes, and the show starts at 5 p.m. on Sunday, and actually that's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So we're asking the dads to bring out the moms. So
Yeah.
just stay home. Come out to them and have fun.
Come out to the mothers and the children.
Of course. And bring along the kids too. It's a fun day for family.
Yes.
The price of the tickets again?
25.
25 before.
Nice.
30 at the gates.
30 at the gates.
But
So get your early bird tickets.
We talk about show and we talk about early bird. You feel you're coming here and get away? What taking place for Carnival?
Give us an update.
I didn't hear that. Say that again?
What's taking place for Carnival?
Yeah, the Carnival
Oh, well,
band, yeah.
we started doing a bit so far, and things are going pretty good.
You come up with your theme for this year yet?
Yes, actually, we have that.
Well, tell us
But we
now.
can't tell you yet.
I find that man. Oh, that man rough, boy.
Sheldon, I'm going to let everyone let you know soon.
Very soon.
But how many years have you been doing this now? With the outside of the Queen, how much years have you been doing mass?
Mass band, yeah.
Actually, this year is 27 years.
Wow.
Yeah. We celebrated Silver Jubilee a couple of years ago.
Almost half of your life, Peter.
Are there any other bands in
actually,
St. Andrew?
the year we celebrated Silver Jubilee, we won everything, the national title, we won all the categories in the Children's Carnival Frolic. So it was a good 25 years to celebrate.
That was good.
Yeah. Are there any other bands in the St. Andrew area that have that sort of longevity? Or are
Yes,
you
actually, Paraclete is close to 50 years, I think.
Yeah.
Close to 50?
Yeah,
Paraclete is coming up with 50 years soon.
Yeah.
A couple of years from now, I think.
Wow.
Barclays, and then you have the Lafayette guys. They have been around for a while too.
Paraclete has been there for a lot of years.
All right, so we expect to see you. You're passing on the road in town and then head up to St. Andrew for the what do you call it, the lanyap?
Yes, we'll be back in town again this year, and
Nice,
we're
beautiful.
asking everybody the masqueraders to come register, check out the sketches early. Our mass band launch will be sometime in June. I don't have the exact date yet, but you'll know soon.
Okay.
And I'm gonna call you again and let the public away.
Wonderful.
Make
boss.
sure. All right, brother.
You're welcome anytime.
Right. Thanks so much.
All right.
You have a wonderful day.
Take care.
Okay. Bye.
All right.
Right, folks. Yeah, Mr. Peter Bain.
Peter Bain, yes.
He's a culture man. 27 years doing mass. 16 years doing the Queen Show.
Queen Show. He and not just him, he and his wife, Shinola Bain.
It's a team.
Yeah, and by the way, happy belated birthday, ma'am. Right? I hope you had a wonderful day. Mr. Bain, I hope you made that day special for your wife, right? She is a very beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, indeed. Folks, we have roughly about 11 minutes remaining on Hard Talk today. And you see, it's good when you have some sort of longevity. So you have Paraclete about to celebrate 50.
Almost 50 years.
Nearly 50 years in mass. You said Lafayette should be...
Lafayette should be giving both of them some competition. They have
might even be longer.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Paraclete might be the one that,
Yeah, the longest.
Longest there. But you have, persons consistently every year, right?
It's not an easy thing to beat your head and come up with a concept for costumes for
and everything.
Each section. It's not like you're making one costume for one person. It's costumes for each section. Then looking at that costume to see how that costume would actually put together to work on the road so that the masquerader could move and you don't find parts of it all over the street.
Yeah.
And then after considering that, to actually build the costumes out. That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, man. And that's why, too, and I must congratulate Peter Bain, right, and his team, right, because long before the carnival, even before the Carriacou carnival, and so, you see Peter and his team sitting down under the house, and they, the ideas just flowing, and so you'll see them 3-4 times for the week, meeting sitting down and organizing and planning.
People, boy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he lives right in my area, so I walk there, pass by every day, and I pay attention to that. That's that. So kudos to Peter Bain and Upper Level Promotion and all the other band leaders and organizations in St. Andrews, who have been there and supporting Carnival.
Well, not just in St. Andrews, but on the island in general. Because remember, we have right now we have the New Breed, the AJ and Associates, the Lavish. Yeah. You have the Zenova and the Ecstasy, and then you have the people who've been around for a while, like the Helen Marie.
Helen Marie and Associates.
It's interesting. I want to find out how much years Helen. I was at the launch, but forgetting now how much years Helen has been in. It's over 20-something, huh? She's 20-something as well.
We must put together a nice little dossier when it comes to the band leaders and the times. How long they have been participating. Andre Garvey and Associates, all these guys and them, they have been there contributing to the development of culture. I mean, and they have been doing that continuously every year. So kudos to all of them out there who have been supporting, partaking, right, and ensuring that the culture remain strong in our country. Carnival, I mean, that's our thing.
So from what I'm seeing here, Helen Marie has been involved for 23 years.
Okay.
Helen Marie and Associates have been around for 23 years. She's been playing mass longer than that.
Yes, of course.
She's been playing mass much longer than
definitely.
That. But she has started a band 23 years now.
Yeah.
And then you have Andre Garvey and Associates been there for a long while. Well, forget Comancheros and them.
Yeah.
Comancheros and them should be going way back.
Should be around the 60s.
Yeah, they're going way back,
should be around in the 60s. They would have started that thing. And then you had Angel Harps, right? At one point in time, they had their own band, right? Steel band and the costume band and everything. But over a period of time, it's sort of, demise. No, Hannah, I'm not with the team too, but I pay particular attention to good things that is happening in my area and promote it.
Yeah.
No,
but it's important because you have the New Breed, you have the existing bands, and so I think something wonderful is happening with mass.
Oh yeah, in
Grenada. Yeah, something wonderful. And not only in Grenada, but I have to give kudos to the mass bands out of Carriacou. Because this year, looking at Carriacou Mass, Kayak Mass, saw a lot of bands on the road and that sort of thing. And pleasantly surprised. I've never really paid much attention to mass in Carriacou. I know some of my relatives and them go give me some lash for that. But no, I've been honest. I've never paid much attention.
It's a shame to say that.
No, I'm being honest by saying that. I can't be ashamed for being honest. So I haven't paid much attention because I've never been to Kayak Mass. And Brian go call back and cuss me just now. But I've never been to Kayak Mass before, so I've never paid that much attention to anything outside of Shakespeare Mass. Yeah? And to see that now, I'm hoping, especially with the advent of the Dolly C, that there might be a possibility. And Carriacou, you all consider that. Please, seriously consider that. Of having a serious representation of mass bands parading Carnival Tuesday on the road here in Grenada. Yeah? A serious representation of Carriacou mass bands here in Grenada on the road for Spice Mass.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Consider that one. Seriously. If you could come down on the Dolly C, make a special charter. You all come down with the Dolly C and you parade and then you go up Tuesday night. Yeah, whether the boat leaving 1 o'clock in the morning, as soon as mass done, 12 o'clock, 11, wherever you leave, up the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we can have a representation and...
From Carriacou, because he just as how Peter Bain...
Yeah, he goes
up to Carriacou, and so
Summer Crew, Bobby Steele and crew.
Exactly, so
they go up.
That enhance the carnival activity in Carriacou.
I think Summer Crew would be over 20 years as well. I think that Summer Crew may be over 20 years as well. Yeah, there's a possibility of that. Yeah. That Summer Crew might be over 20 years as well.
Also, to Sheldon, I want to sort of big up Seydou. St. Andrews development organization. They have been making some some reorganizational strides and so. Right, I've seen the 4 parliamentary representatives within St. Andrews getting more involved in some of the activities and so, trying to get the Rainbow City Festival back on foot. Also, to have noticed them trying to highlight a lot of the activities within the different villages in St. Andrews leading up to Rainbow City. And that's a good start. And I really want to continue to encourage them, right, the team that is working out there, the volunteers, to try to make St. Andrews great again when it comes to Rainbow City.
That man actually using Donald Trump thing.
Yes. 2 things for St. Andrews, and that's a really thing. Seydou, you have to make this festival great again, right? And for the cricket, boy, just make it great again. Mr. President, right? St. Andrews has been on the top in for example in cricket for a lot of years, and so on. And after LL done crash it, right, and mash it up to the ground for 2 or 3 years. And so now it's been revived and everything like that. So kudos to you, Mr. Hilaire, right, for taking up the challenge, you and your team, in ensuring cricket in St. Andrews strives.
Yeah, Benji. Just come and slam the door. Slam the door. Yeah, we're quickly closing in on the 12 o'clock hour. Remember, Spice Mass has officially been launched. All your run the tunes.
Get up this morning with that kind of feeling.
You know them beat come from there, Devon?
Something I can.
They want to take us off the slave ship and they have us chained. And we had a kind of chip to where we go in and thing, and they want us to move fast. So they say, chip in with it, move.
Most
move,
international
move,
favorite
move.
in bringing out a lot of these chants.
Yeah, you understand? So we look forward to Rainbow City, looking at kind of... Looking possible?
Yeah, looking possible based on the information.
Is that due to the committee that has been set up by the 4 ministers looking at the parish?
Well, not that it was able to enhance or continue to enhance the ability, but there's a team of Seydou persons that are continually meeting every so often and so on, continue to plan. So with the 4 parliamentary representatives getting involved, right, in the forward movement of St. Andrews, and so I think that will, give some more encouragement, some more light into the festivities in St. Andrews.
So right. before we run off, though, as we say, we're trying to finish on time these days.
Yeah.
Before we run off, I'm just seeing a figure here. 44,072 persons used the services of LIAT to and from Grenada for the first quarter this year.
Wow.
That is not for the year last year. Eh?
So
no. That's the amount of people that use it for the total in last year.
For
the first quarter this year, 10,896 persons. That is for the first 4 months of this year alone. 10,896 people have used LIAT, no other airline, LIAT, to come into and go out of Grenada.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just news for us to think about the forward movement of LIAT.
So if you get rid of LIAT, the 44,072 trips that take place, persons that move, individuals that move last year.
And let's say half of that is persons either from a diaspora or visitors, right? Each of them spending 10 US in Grenada while they're here per day.
Man, even some of those med students, I always say med students, but it's youth students coming into Grenada. Sometimes they take the connecting through Barbados.
Yep, through Barbados.
They try to go Barbados, kind of free train that. So I take the connecting through Barbados and that kind of thing.
And they fly in. So it's so important and essential for LIAT to stay in the air. Yes, reorganize, good management, everything, and the participation of all, in my view, all the regional governments and people should make LIAT a priority. It's our own.
Yeah. Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you, and whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
Not about you.
Yeah, we are out of here. Peace. Remember, look for the rebroadcast tonight at 8 p.m. via CRFM 89.5, via We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn from 10 p.m. That's 94.9. and again at 3 a.m. on 89.5. Also, the video, it will be up. Will be up in a few minutes on both YouTube and Facebook. Hard Talk Grenada on YouTube and Hard Talk Grenada Live on Facebook. So we are out.
We are just days away from concert royalty.
Driver, don't stop at all.
As the Long Walk to Freedom tour touches down in Grenada.
Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money and thing.
The anticipation is building for the return of a living icon, Buju Banton.
Me waiting or drive a fast car, but me not gonna let you.
Backed by his Shiloh band.
Test we know, in the field of one life, how we rock the test we know, in the field of
Also featuring reggae sensation Ghost with his band. And Sister Joyce from the UK. Your local stars gracing the stage on that night. Laura Lisa, Samantha Cole, Kevon Niles, aka Double Standard, and Kalia Benjamin with an accompanied appearance by Tevin Phillip, aka Triple. Get your tickets now from all advertised outlets. Sunshine Promotions in association with Digicel present A Night of Love, Long Walk to Freedom Tour, Saturday, May 11th, Grenada National Stadium.
On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearls Strip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearls Strip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event.
Grenada hosts meeting of Caribbean credit unions discussing how to improve their governance structure. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the news for Monday, May 6th, I am Sherry Ann Noel. If credit unions in the region are to remain relevant, they must continue to maintain a strong governance structure. That's according to Minister of Cooperatives, Honorable Oliver Joseph. He was addressing the Caribbean Association of Credit Union Supervisors regional workshop at the Radisson Resort on Monday. Mr. Joseph said the strongest element of credit union management and operation is its governance and governing structure.
For credit unions to remain strong and relevant, and to play its role in the social and economic transformation of our homeland and people, it must continue not just to provide the financial services that other financial institutions do, but more importantly, it must maintain a strong governance structure. And this it can do by continuing to attract and retain the best minds and talents of this country and putting them to work with the philosophical thinking that they have a fiduciary responsibility with the institution they serve.
In some countries, the legal and supervisory framework for credit unions is outdated, and there are no regular reporting requirements apart from the submission of audited year-end financial statements, which makes it difficult to monitor and assess the operations and soundness of individual credit unions. In other countries, not enough information is obtained to support the financial stability and mandate of the central bank. Financial Sector Supervision Advisory of CARTAC, Ralph Laws, says while there are efforts to update the legislative framework and enhance supervisory oversight in the region, there is need for more to be done.
In the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, member countries have recently agreed on draft regulations for the sector to support the harmonized legislation. Lastly, among the options under consideration in Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana is for the respective central banks to assume supervisory responsibilities for the largest credit unions. But more needs to be done, such as the implementation of risk-based capital requirements on a proportional basis, subjecting the large and more important credit unions to more intensive supervision, and making greater use of financial soundness indicators for systemic risk monitoring of the sector. And very importantly, the establishment of deposit protection fund for members.
About 18% of the Caribbean population belong to a credit union, and in Grenada, credit union assets are approaching the $1 billion mark. The three-day meeting, which is being held under the auspices of GAFIN, carries the theme Strengthening the Regulatory, Supervisory and Financial Stability Frameworks for Credit Unions in CARDTAK member countries. Trade Minister Honorable Oliver Joseph has engaged in another round of visits and discussions with business owners and managers to hear their concerns and challenges. His most recent tour on Friday forms part of a series of visits scheduled for 2019, which will help the Ministry of Trade to boost export and local markets, increase trading opportunities, and generate more interest in local production and consumption. Minister Joseph made his first stop at the Grenada Craft Center. The highlight of discussions there was the need for more to be done within the Buy Local campaign to promote local consumption.
You have to go to schools, it has to be something which is continuous over a long period of time.
If you look at the buses and even Horizon now, all of them are putting the decals on the buses to able to which fly different routes, able to generate a little bit of awareness. Because they are making money, and they are making money based on the product that they're pushing. Buy local, eat local. That is a slogan that everybody will resonate to in terms of what they have to do. So I think the buses, and I'm not sure how and how you structure that campaign mechanism of the different target markets on that end. But I believe the buses now has a greater marketing opportunity visually that fly the different routes. Is a possibility you can use the buses.
Minister Joseph says while government is doing its best to promote local consumption, the onus is on all to buy into the strategy. The Buy Local campaign is just one program to get the message out. He believes local consumption must start at home and in the schools.
You have to think about this thing is not just simple as saying, well, if we have a Buy Local campaign, people are still thinking and growing up believing that the external things are better. And they show that the worst for us, health-wise. The KFC and the hamburgers and the other things. The Caribbean, the highest rate of NCDs now. They have to start, if the children start going up, eating local things, you know. But the same parents buying all the foreign stuff for them. So they grow up on foreign stuff. So when they were big, except when they get old like me, they will change because they start to get sick. But if they start to eat it growing up in the home, that's what they know.
The minister made his second stop at the Grenada Paper Products Limited. Marketing manager Godfrey Augustine said while the company faces many challenges, they can still boast of a fair share of the local market, and plans are in place to secure more regional and international markets.
We basically do have quite a good share of the local market with some competition from products from other countries, but we do hold our own here in the local market. We do some export as well. We export to countries like Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua, Guyana. We do a bit in Suriname, Antigua, and so we do a bit of export. Oh, definitely. We would love to get some more. As a matter of fact, in Barbados, we'd love to do quite a bit more. You know, so. Once the conditions are favorable, we would definitely like to do some more of that.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The safety on our roads make this a major priority. Health of our people, a crucial necessity. Accidents happen when road users are either irresponsible or inconsiderate in one way or the other. Play your part. Reduce your speed. Be attentive. It is your personal responsibility. Let 2017 be the start of no more road fatality. Be safe, be seen, be smart. So let's wise up as a nation. Get to your destination safe.
Welcome back. Grenadians turned out in their numbers on Saturday to witness the launch of Spice Mass 2019 at the National Stadium car park. It was a sea of colors as every aspect of carnival was on display. Moko Jumbi, Jab Jab, Shortney, Fancy Mass, steel bands, and so much more. There were appearances by local soca, groovy, and calypso artists, as well as the 2019 Carnival Queen contestants. The 2019 festival promises to be an improvement with more entertainment and structure, which will generate more revenue for the country. This year's festival will be held under the theme Many Events, One Carnival. Let's take in some of the highlights.
The Spice Mass product truly embodies the three primary components of our carnival, which is the sweet sound of steel pan, our mass, beautiful mass, and of course, calypso. This is what truly represents Spice Mass in Grenada. We want to continue to build on this product, but we cannot do that without your continued support as patrons, as mass men, as mass women. We want you to continue to contribute by participating, by investing, by coming out and being part not only of the launch, but all our events for 2019.
Who is talking and where you from? The voice tell me my name is Mr. Rum. You hear the iron? That means it's that. Don't let no party style you. Mash it up flat. Tell me pick up something. Anything. From tell me to grab something. Anything.
And finally, NYPD's finest soccer team concluded its Goodwill humanitarian tour to Grenada on Sunday. The team, which arrived on the island last Tuesday, had a packed agenda that included visits to 4 education institutions, as well as the Grand Bachelet Juvenile Rehabilitation Center. They also engaged in 2 soccer friendlies. During the visit by the NYPD's finest to the various institutions, presentations were made of sporting gears to encourage the further development of the sport of football. A highlight was the visit to the Grand Bachelet Juvenile and Rehabilitation Center, where they had the opportunity to interact with residents. Manager and player with the team, retired officer Ron Mahia, encouraged the residents to take a deep look within themselves and chart a new chapter in their lives.
You guys got to, at some point, look inside yourselves and say, look, I can do this. I don't need to be in this situation. It's only up to you to help yourself. I mean, there's a lot of outside factors that's going to affect your life, but you have to push through. Within you, barring the outside factors, you got to work through it and see with yourself to push yourself. There's going to be times you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that. It's too much or whatever. Just push yourself through, and you can make it. You know what I'm saying? These guys here, I manage this team. We've been traveling all over the world, and we try to give this message to everybody that, you know, it comes within you to help yourself.
Retired Grenadian NYPD officer Larry Roberts told the residents there is need to take the rehabilitation process in strides.
My message to you guys is like, I want you guys to understand this, right? No matter your situation here or what you're here for, I don't want to know, but what I want you guys to know and understand that this doesn't identify you for the rest of your life. And after today, there could be change. So you guys have to have big hearts, and realize that just as how any one of us migrated to the U.S. and became officers who, you know, some of these guys here, although we officers, we went to school for different stuff, whether it's engineering, computer, and, you know, teaching, different things. So my message is that your education is the key.
Teacher and duty officer at the facility, Dave Bartholomew, welcomed the visit by the officers, saying that it will indeed create an impact on their lives.
These residents need a lot of support, and the more support they can get is better. And this visit now by these brethren from New York will help, because I noticed they focus on one, education. This is something that is fundamentally important to the residents, because education is empowering. it's liberating. They encourage them about the role of hope, and it's very, very important that these residents have hope so that it will provide the fuel and the desire for them going forward. And I think that some of the stories here, the personal stories of some of the officers, I found it very inspirational and very encouraging. In fact, I noticed a couple of residents had little tears in their eyes. It's because they can identify what he says. And he says at a young age, he ran away from home. This is the experience of a lot of them here. So this is very, very encouraging and very inspirational to them.
Also speaking to the residents were Police Officer Stephen Faduba and Dr. Gail Bash, after which a presentation was made to the center. And with this, we come to the end of the National Report for Monday, May 6th, 2019. I am Sharian Noel. Thank you for viewing.
On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearls Strip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearls Strip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event.
We are just days away from concert royalty.
Driver, don't stop at all.
As the Long Walk to Freedom tour touches down in Grenada.
Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money and thing.
The anticipation is building for the return of a living icon, Buju Banton. Backed by his Shiloh band. Also featuring reggae sensation Ghost with his band. And Sister Joyce from the UK. Your local stars gracing the stage on that night. Laura Lisa, Samantha Cole, Kevon Niles, aka Double Standard, and Kalia Benjamin, with an accompanied appearance by Tevin Phillip, aka Triple. Get your tickets now from all advertised outlets. Sunshine Promotions in association with Digicel present A Night of Love, Long Walk to Freedom Tour, Saturday, May 11th, Grenada National Stadium.